He just wanted a steak, that's all, nothing fancy. But what the waitress slipped him along with the check man that changed everything. You ever walk into a place and nobody looks twice? That was me. That Wednesday in Fort Smith, Arkansas, heat rippling off the asphalt outside like it had a grudge against the whole world. Air so heavy it made your bones ache. And the steakhouse sitting there in a half-dead strip mall liquor store on one side, check-cashing joint on the other. Place looked like it forgot how to smile about a decade ago. But see, I wasn't just passing through. I walked in with my old jeans boots that had seen more years than shine, a cap pulled low, and a leather jacket soft as worry. I moved like any older black man taught to move in new places, quiet, slow, no sudden moves. Habit, not fear. The young host barely flicked his eyes up, mumbled. "Table for one," I said. "Yeah, somewhere quiet if you got it." He led me to a booth near the window number 7, right where I could watch the kitchen door and the whole damn room. Now, I picked up the menu and made like I was new, but truth is, I already knew what I wanted because this wasn't just any steakhouse. I built this chain. Started Whitmore's Chop House in Tulsa back in '96, built it to 17 strong before I handed off day to day. Lately, I was fighting to keep the legacy alive. This Fort Smith spot was bleeding out bad reviews, high turnover numbers that never matched. I needed to see with my own eyes, not just read reports. The place was half full, that tired hush like nobody really wanted to be there. The servers drifted by on eggshells, kitchen staff peeking through doors, and then she showed up, Jenna. Mid to late 20s, white hair in a bun that said, "Shifts too long, sleeves rolled up." "Afternoon, sir. I'm Jenna. I'll be taking care of you," I said. "What's good here?" She scanned the menu like it owed her money. "Ribeyes still decent, mashed potatoes, collards. Let's do that medium rare." She nodded, gone in a blink. While I waited, I scoped out the room guy by the bar. Big buzz-cut polo too tight, standing like he owned the place or was waiting for a fight. That had to be the manager. Steak came out faster than I figured, good, warm plate cooked right. Somebody in the kitchen still gave a damn, but something in the air was wrong. Jenna came back, eyes down, poured my coffee, set the check down with a folded slip. I waited till she walked away, then opened it. 6 words. Blue ink. "If you're really who I think you are, please don't leave without talking to me." My pulse didn't change, my face didn't give anything away. But inside, everything snapped awake. Across the room in the glass, I caught her watching, not obvious but steady. Suddenly I knew this wasn't about money, not really. This was deeper rot. I sat there, one hand on the mug, one on the note, trying to look like just another tired customer. She knew me, and she was reaching out quiet, risky. The manager, Bryce, was still hovering, pretending to read a clipboard, but really running the place on intimidation, not respect. I stood up slow, dropped cash on the table, started toward the front, but instead of leaving, I ducked down the employee's hallway. Bryce's voice came behind me, stiff with suspicion. "Sir, restrooms are on the other side." I stopped, looking for the manager. "That's me," he said, and stepped closer, arms crossed, syrup in his tone. "You got a complaint, you bring it to me. You don't pull my staff." I stared him, dead in the eye, voice even. "Guess you'll have to get used to doing things different." We locked eyes, and he backed off just a little. In the back hall, Jenna was hauling lemons. I flashed the note. She yanked me into a closet, shut the door, her face tired as old concrete. "Bryce isn't just mean, he's dangerous. Deliveries go missing. Cash drawers short only on his nights. If you complain, your shifts disappear or you're written up. One girl saw him pocket bar cash gone by the weekend." I listened. "Why tell me?" I asked. "You tipped me $100 once in Bentonville, said I had initiative. I never forgot." She looked scared but fierce. I promised her I'll be back tomorrow, but not as a stranger. She told me to take the side door. Bryce had cameras out front. I walked out, that note burning in my pocket, sure now that the problem was bigger than a bad manager. That night I holed up in a cheap motel, smelled of bleach and cigarettes, didn't care. I replayed Jenna's words. My phone buzzed at 10:17, unknown number, just a text. Side lot by the dumpster, 11 p.m. Come alone. I didn't hesitate. By 11, I was leaning on the bricks behind the restaurant, hands in my jacket, watching the shadows. Jenna showed up, hoodie on, moving quick. She pressed a key into my palm, wrapped in a napkin. Bryce's locker. Black duffel. He's got a burner phone. I said, "You're brave." She shook her head. "I'm tired." But Glenn's worst regional guy shows up once a month, always with secrets. That stung. Glenn had been with me for years. Trusted. I told her, if they give you trouble, tell them exactly who I am. She smiled just a little. Next morning, I wore the same clothes, didn't want to look like a boss, just wanted the truth. The host barely looked up. Jenna and the crew moved with a different kind of tension, hope and fear in equal measure. Bryce strutted out, fake grin. "Back again." "Food solid," I said. He didn't like that. After eating, I circled out to the alley, slipped in the prop side door, and found Bryce's locker. BL. The silver key fit. Inside, gym bag, cologne, burner phone, no passcode. Contacts, texts, initials. Wads of cash and rubber bands. In his office, I found a ledger. Langley's book. Pages of scrawled notes. Hours. Doctored liquor. Missing tips rounded down. Proof. Before I could leave, Bryce blocked the door. Arms crossed. "You think you're slick breaking into my stuff?" I stood tall. "I'm not walking out as a customer, Bryce. I own this place. And you've been robbing me blind." He went pale. He sneered. "You think this ends with me? Glenn's in deep." I nodded. "I know." I walked out, ledger tucked in my jacket. You could feel the shift in the air. I had the receipts. The cover-up was crumbling. The next morning, I sat at the motel with a spread of photos and notes. My phone rang, local number. "Glenn." "Dan, I heard you're poking around." His voice oiled over the line. "You should have called sooner," I said. He tried to blame the market labor, anything but himself. "You hired Bryce to do the dirty work," I told him. "You think I wanted this? You let it happen. And now I want you gone." He scoffed. "You can't make that call. I'm still the founder. My name's on every doc. You go public, we all lose. Then you should have thought about that before you sold us out." Click. I called Alicia, my lawyer, handed over the proof. "Ready for war?" she asked. "I don't want war. I want justice." That night I called a meeting. No jacket, no disguise, just me. I stood at the front, all eyes on me. "You deserve better. Bryce is gone. Glenn's next. Tomorrow we start over together. Jenna here risked everything to tell the truth. That's leadership." You could feel the fear draining away. But nothing stays quiet for long. 2 days later, a fat envelope came stamped, "Urgent legal. Cease and desist accusations, all signed by Glenn." I didn't blink. Called Alicia. She laughed. "Means you're close." That night I was back at the restaurant. Jenna rinsed lemons in the sink. I dropped the envelope. "Glenn's playing games." She asked, "What do we do?" "We tell the truth," I said. Next day, me and Jenna sat down with Ken Holland, a scrappy reporter. Jenna did most of the talking. She laid out every threat, every missing hour, every fear. The article blew up. Undercover, owner exposes abuse, waitress risks, all to save her team. Emails rolled in from other locations, other stories, same pain. I answered them all because silence is how this crap survives. Monday. Jenna found an envelope on her locker, offer letter, full-time benefits, GM title. "You earned it," I told her. She said, "No one ever backed me up before." I said, "You backed yourself. I just made sure it stuck." That Friday, Jenna led her first staff huddle, no speeches, just solutions. I watched from the back. For the first time in months, the place breathed. But I had one more hurdle. CEO emailed, wanted a face-to-face. No boardroom, no suits, just table 7. Sunday closed for cleaning. He tried to smooth things over, told me Glenn was fired. Policies were changing. I didn't smile. Start with back pay benefits for the hourly staff written policy in every kitchen. He called it a tall order. I said I was done living with limits. He agreed finally. That night I handed Jenna an envelope, $2,000 and a note for the day you spoke up. She blinked back tears. Over the next few weeks, the place came alive. Staff teaching new hires, food tasted better, people cared. Word spread. Fort Smith became the flagship again. One afternoon, Theo, a dishwasher, knocked on my door. My mom said you helped her when my brother got sick. I grinned, told him to tell her I remember. That night I sat at a booth plate of grits, toast, butter melting, looked around. It was never about steak. It was about people, the overlooked, the brave, the tired. I wasn't trying to save a restaurant. I was trying to save honesty, to build a place where people don't have to whisper just to be heard. So if you ever worked for someone who abused their power, or if you've been scared to speak, let this be your reminder. Change doesn't start with a title. It starts with courage. So speak up. Show up. And always, always have someone's back. Now you tell me, who do you think was right and who do you think needs to hear this most?